wonderful. This is the longest that we, over the last 35 years, the longest we've stayed in training camp will be our approximately a month here. So it's wonderful to be with you. I feel at home, and the Cowboys do too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Ladies, put your hands together for Jerry Jones. One more time, one more time. Jerry, you are welcome in Oxnard. This is your home. Remember that? Mi casa es su casa.
The biggest franchise in the world, doing it big as always, officially welcoming back their fans in their opening ceremony here in Oxnard, California. Welcome back into Inside Cowboys Training Camp presented by Ford. I'm Nicole Hutchison alongside Mickey Spagnola. And of course, like I mentioned, the Dallas Cowboys doing it big as always. Jerry Jones speaking to the fans. You got the DCC cheerleaders performing as well. A lot of excitement surrounding this team heading into 2024.
Yeah, absolutely. And they were able to do it on the weekend. So on a Saturday, a lot of people will be here, and this is kind of a tradition every year here in Oxnard, California.
The fans back in rare form, you love to see it, but we also got a chance to see Micah Parsons in his regular form, and he got a chance to speak to the media, and he has a lot of goals heading into 2024.
I know you bulked up to handle the pounding at the end. Now you're lighter again, but you'll still be rushing and dealing with that pounding. How do you think that's going to affect you?
Well, I'm gonna be all over, man. They gotta, at the end of the day, they gotta find me. You know, that's what I train for. There's some days I'll go into the gym and do 500-600 reps. You know, it's that muscle endurance, that conditioning that you're training for, the long haul. Great trainers and great people help me understand that, you know, more weight doesn't always mean a positive thing. So it's just how you train.
What are you lay out goals in front of you when the season starts, like certain numbers that you want to hit?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think, you know, the goals of mine is always obvious and always it's always to be the best in everything I do. So that's always leading my team to the playoffs, win the Super Bowl, be the best defensive player in the league. And usually when you do all those things usually follow suit. So I just got to take one step in front of the other, take one game at a time, dominate, do what I have to do, get a win, go to playoffs, and all that stuff will add up.
Micah Parsons leading the league in QB pressures in 2023. Now, like I mentioned, having some big goals heading into 2024. Where would you like to see Micah Parsons be playing under this Mike Zimmer defense?
I would like to see him playing a little bit more linebacker.
Okay.
And it looks like so far with the few practices we've seen, Mike Zimmer has him at times lined up at linebacker. He talked about it when he spoke to the media the other day, how he's going to be being asked to be more versatile, move around, so offenses don't know where he's going to be. When he's at defensive end, Nicole, he's too easily to eliminate because they know where he's at and they can zero in at him. When you're at linebacker, you can move around, and it's harder to double team him at linebacker. So I think at times this year we will see them when they go three linebackers that Micah Parsons will be one of them.
And you're seeing the schematic changes that Mike Zimmer brings to this defense, because in practice already we've seen 3 picks from this Mike Zimmer defense. What changes have you noticed so far throughout practice?
I don't know that there's been big changes. I think there's been an emphasis on maybe getting bigger, especially in the front 7. I mentioned using 3 linebackers at time when the Cowboys didn't do that last year, especially after Leighton Vander Esch was lost with the injury. And on the defensive front, they got to get bigger, because if this defense is going to improve, they've got to be able to stop the run, which was their problem last year in all 6 games they lost.
Well, stopping the run is obviously a big point of emphasis, but also running the football as well, and it starts in the trenches. Up next, we're talking the offensive line. Zack Martin, the OG, shares his thoughts.
Inside Cowboys Training Camp, presented by Ford, is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys. And by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. This segment is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Zack Martin is now one of the longest tenured Cowboys here on this roster alongside DeMarcus Lawrence, and he's made it clear that his last ride is not on his mind. He's focused on 2024, training camp, and the season, and the trajectory of this offensive line.
Yeah, that I would say season 3 is a big year, just because the game really starts to slow down for you. You know, you understand the nuances of the game and the offensive line position and how defenses play, so you can just go out there and you know, put those physical traits to use.
Zach, when you were out last week, when you were out last year, when you came back, did you kind of get a sense that the guys behind you got a lot of good reps?
Yeah.
And it was good for them.
Yeah, I mean, a ton of these. I mean, a guy like TJ Bass, you know, really benefited from those reps. Brock last year benefited from those reps. So, you know, as young guys, the reps are what are going to get you in the right position, right? So, you know, they took advantage of those reps, and obviously we needed some of those guys throughout the year, and you know, that was huge for us to build our depth.
It can be a silver lining, I guess what I'm saying, with CD not here. Just at least there's guys getting.
Yeah, no, and you know, the important thing is, you know, our offensive line room last year, they took advantage of those reps, and I know our receiver group will too.
What's it like Tyler Guyton being a first-round pick and not having the same kind of experience that you had coming into the league?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing that jumps off is just the way he moves. I mean, he's very smooth. In pass protection, he just glides out there. So, you know, it's going to be exciting to see when the pads come on to see how it is. But right now, just from a pure movement standpoint, he looks pretty impressive.
As you've gotten older as a player, have you changed your approach from just in terms of getting ready for the season physically?
Yeah, I think you know, for me is I just have to be smart and you know, as much as I want to be out there every single rep of every practice, it's important for me to understand that I've got to take care of myself and make sure I'm going to the season healthy. So the coaches have done a great job kind of working with me this training camp, and we're going to have a nice schedule going forward. So I can be feeling my best when the season comes around.
This segment was brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back here on Inside Cowboys Training Camp presented by Ford to wrap things up. We've obviously got to talk about Josh Butler. We mentioned the defense earlier in the show, but Josh Butler, a guy who came from the XFL, spent 2023 on the practice squad, kind of showing some flashes throughout training camp so far. I know it's too early, but I mean, what are you looking to hope to see from Josh Butler?
Well, you've got a young guy that has a little experience, and what the Cowboys have to find in this training camp, they know who their top 3 cornerbacks are, with Trayvon Diggs coming back, Deron Bland, Jordan Lewis. Now, who's the 4th guy? And I think that spot is wide open, and I think Josh Butler in these first couple practices has shown that got my hand up in the air. I can win this job.
And what about Kalen Carson as well? This is a guy who's a rookie, right? But he's showing some battle experience as well out of there in practice.
You know, one of the things that I think that they caught their eye when they drafted him, his ability to cover one-on-one, his ability to not only play outside but inside the slot. And in 2 practices, and again, the pads aren't on yet, I think he's shown the Cowboys that I can do that.
Well, it's only the first week of practice. We're back tomorrow here in Oxnard with more practice reactions and press conference reactions as well. See you guys tomorrow.
Very special thanks to all Cowboys fans for your continued support of America's team.
Inside Cowboys Training Camp, presented by Ford, was brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys. And by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.